What is corn? It is first domesticated by indigenous people in southern Mexico about 10,000 years ago. Zea maize, also called Indian corn or maize, cereal plant of the grass family Phocaea, and its eligible grains. It is one of the most widely distributed of the world food scraps.
Over 47 insect species recorded feeding in corn. 4 are considered major problems, such as corn seedling maggots, the root crabs, the corn borer, and the corn earthworm.
Sa pagtanom ko sang mais, mga 30 anyos nga tanom ko sang mais, puro lang pirmi ulod. Subong lang kang ay maulod ang mais ko.
Talaga ti problema ngamin ti mais, iti second crop. Aji corn borer, no tumama ti corn borer, uray adda ti padanom mo, uray adda ti pagabunom, uray adda ti makina nga datta. Nung no talaga nga tamaan iti corn borer, talaga makulaps na di mais. Imbis nga dumakal, bumaba, bumasit, takamin kanan ti mais. So nga ingana mataya di nga mais kang kanan tiggis.
Iti no madanon ti panagmumula ti mais iti imulmula mi. Nga iti problema iti mulmula mi nga mais puro at igisan. Tapos no daduma di nakapoy iti panagbunga nata di panagigis na di mais.
Since I was a small boy, nung maliit pa ako, tatay ko nagtatanim na ng corn. Pag ito naman ang harvest ng farmer, talagang luging-lugi. Dahil yung recovery niya, milling recovery, maliit na, plus may damage pa ng corn borer. Diyan, makikita natin yung damage sa corn borer ito, no? Sa spraying, grabe kami talaga. Tinatamaan kami ng spray.
Next to rice. Corn is the second most important crop in the Philippines. About 12 million Filipinos prefer white corn as their main staple food, while yellow corn accounts for about 70% of livestock mixed feeds. Close to 600,000 farm households depend on corn as a major source of livelihood. In addition to transport services, traders, and farm input suppliers who directly benefit from corn. The Philippines, however, is still far from being self-sufficient in corn production. A major culprit is the Asian corn borer.
In 1998, the USA Environmental Protection Agency approved a transgenic variety of yellow corn called STARLINK.
This yellow corn, genetically modified engineered to express the protein Cry9C, which is a toxic various insect pest of corn and acts as pesticide.
These toxins selectively kills destructive insects larvae such as European corn borer, cornstalk borer, and corn earthworm.
In Iowa, STARLINK corn represented 1% of the total crop, only 1%, and it has tainted 50% of the harvest. Here's ABC's Bob Jamieson.
Iowa's harvest was almost complete when farmers like Gene Turner discovered STARLINK had contaminated other corn they had planted.
We thought these buffer strips would be enough to separate different corns.
Even though Turner planted STARLINK 200 feet away from his regular corn, it still contaminated his entire crop.
I think the whole system failed because I don't think anybody was ready for this.
STARLINK was engineered by Aventis Crop Science to be toxic to insects, which means farmers save money on insecticides. It was approved for animal feed, but not human consumption because of concerns it might cause allergic reactions.
It's just over the hill here.
Don Carwall didn't plant any STARLINK, but pollen from a neighbor's field contaminated part of his crop. He's left with 5,000 bushels of corn he can't sell.
Well, I don't know if it's a catastrophe, but it's getting there in a hurry.
Carwall's neighbor who planted the STARLINK is John Clint. His entire crop was contaminated.
You can't see a difference. I mean, there's no difference.
Clint says Aventis never warned him to be careful where he planted STARLINK.
The restrictions, they really didn't say much on that.
Nobody told you that your corn might contaminate Don Carwall's.
No, that was not mentioned.
But it got worse. Farmers who didn't know their crop was contaminated sold it to grain elevators. There, much of it was mixed with non-STARLINK corn. Now, officials believe half of Iowa's crop is contaminated, and food processors won't buy it. Iowa agricultural officials say the problem is so big, they cannot even estimate what this will cost farmers and grain elevator operators. But they
Let's move on to the issues and controversies. The controversies began when the trace of DNA from STARLINK corn were found in taco shells and other corn-related products. Although there are several varieties of BT corn in the market, STARLINK was illegal in human foods. It was only approved for animal feed. The EPA Scientific Advisory Panel considered the protein Cry9C a medium-risk potential human allergy. This decision was based on limited data. The protein was slow to digest, suggesting a possible concern. However, the protein's amino acid sequence was not like known allergy. Therefore, the likelihood of allergenicity is low. Furthermore, for people to become allergic to a protein, they need to be exposed to it multiple times over an extended period. Since the Cry9C protein, the probability that the protein would synthesize an individual is low. So yun, ang tunay na problema lang po sa STARLINK, hindi po siya approved for human food consumption. Kasi based sa result ng BT protein ay hindi mo madaling matunaw sa digestive ng tao na maaaring magkaroon ng allergy ang tao sa katawan. The FDA received approximately 34 reports of adverse reactions to corn products that may contain STARLINK. Of the 34 reports, 20 were unlikely to result from an allergenic reaction. The U.S. Center investigated 7 people who experienced symptoms that are consistent with an allergenic reaction. The people showed no reaction to the Cry9C protein. This doesn't not mean people could not develop an allergic reaction in the future. Ayon sa resulta ng pag-iimbestiga ng US Center sa 7 nakaranas ng allergic reaction, ay wala naman daw kinalaman ng Cry91C dito. Ngunit hindi naman daw yung nangangahulugan na hindi sila nagkaroon ng allergic reaction ay hindi na ito makukuha pagdating ng panahon. Adventist submitted a new evaluation of the corn to the EPA and requested temporary approval for human consumption. The new information demonstrated that consuming corn-based food containing STARLINK would expose consumers to Cry9C many times smaller than needed to cause sensitivity. Subsequently, Adventists voluntarily withdraw registration for STARLINK corn. It will no longer be grown. As a result of this episode, the Adventist company and other in the biotechnology industry will seek approval for both human and animal consumption before marketing genetically enhanced seeds.
Nagsumite si Adventist ng bagong pagsusuri ng mais sa Environmental Protection Agency at humiling siya ng pansamantalang pag-aproba para sa pagkonsumo ng tao. Ipinakita ng bagong impormasyon na ang pagkonsuma ng mga pagkaing nakabatay sa mais na naglalaman ng STARLINK ay maglalantad sa mga mamimili sa Caribbean Sea ng maraming beses na mas maliit kaysa sa kinakailangan upang maging sanhi ng pagiging sensitibo. Bilang resulta nito, ang kumpanya ng Aventis at iba pa sa industriya ng biotechnology ay maghahanap muna ng mga pag-aproba para sa animal consumption bago ibenta ang mga buto.